Hi everybody, welcome. In this video we're going to be talking about protein, but not in the traditional sense of whey protein or protein powders or meal replacements or chugging milkshakes, none of that, no. We're actually going to be talking about something a little bit more exciting, protein puddings. But more widely, we're going to be talking about convenience proteins, stuff that you can buy from a shop that's easy to consume on the go wherever you are. Just yesterday, I was stood in Aldi in the refrigeration section, arguably a little bit too long, pouring through their massive array of protein puddings, protein mousses, drinks, yogurts, and I thought to myself, there's a video in this somewhere, so I took one of each product, put it in my basket, and I brought them home. In a moment we're going to go over these products and we're going to have a look at the numbers associated with each one. Firstly, how much protein each of these has in it. Second, the amount of calories, the sort of calorie overhead each of these has. And thirdly, the price. Each of these is important when selecting, and you have to factor in these if you're going to be consuming them as part of a daily routine. More widely than this, I'm going to be discussing why people might want to be looking at their protein numbers and how it's not necessarily only people who train in gyms that should be looking at them. And then I'm going to be talking a little bit about this new phenomenon of supermarkets branding tons of stuff with protein. Does it have its place? Do these products have a place in your routine, or should you just stick to old-fashioned whey protein and chicken breasts? Anyway, let's get on with it. So the first question I think we need to answer is, why do we need protein in our diet in the first place? Put simply, protein is the building blocks of human beings. We cannot exist without it. More specifically, the 9 essential amino acids that are contained within proteins that our bodies cannot create itself, so we have to get it from our food. For the sake of this video, we're going to be focusing on what it does for our muscles. Number 1, it helps create muscles in the first place and helps grow them. And then in number 2, it helps patch up damaged muscle cells and helps strengthen them for future use. So why do our muscles get damaged? Any muscle use, no matter how slight, no matter how little, will essentially damage your muscle cells at a cellular level. Those 9 essential amino acids are critical in helping get to those muscles and repairing the damage and help strengthen them for future use. Now, if you're at the gym and you're smashing weights and you're doing lots of exercise, your body is having to repair lots more muscle cells than someone just walking down the road. So the amount of protein any one person needs is incredibly variable depending on the type of person they are, the amount of exercise they do, their age, their gender, their build, all of it. So it's important you start off knowing how much protein you should need on any given day. So the very next question you might have is, how much protein do I need? Now, I can't tell you that. It's an incredibly individual number to you, yourself as a human being, and the goals that you have. As a good starting point now, go to calculator.net and find their protein calculator. It'll ask you for a few details: height, weight, gender, but most importantly, it will ask you for your activity level. It will then spit you out a number. It's a bit vague. It's not a precise science, but it's a good starting point. Now, if you're a little bit old school like me, I simply take my weight, my current body weight in kilograms, and times it by 0.8 if I want to maintain, or if I times it by 2 if I want to increase muscle mass. If I'm going through a period of building, if I'm doing lots of resistance training, then I would times my body weight by 2. So I'm currently 83 kilos. That would be 166 grams of protein that I would be required to take every single day. So why are supermarkets suddenly rebranding and inventing new products to include high levels of protein? I think this comes from a bit of a shift in the general public's perception of what protein is. I think they've become more aware of macronutrients, and the word protein is now associated with a good health choice. And it is. Protein, like I said, is a building block of human life. So it's not a bad thing to get more of it in your diet, and it benefits just about everybody. So this has led to supermarkets becoming a little bit more sensitive to that sort of public opinion, and have therefore gone out and created lines of products, some from scratch. They've invented some of these products. So the protein mousse never used to exist, and then some like fromage frais and quark and things of that nature that used to just exist now have had a sort of a rebrand and have been labelled up as high protein snacks. So people will buy and eat these things for lots of different reasons. Some people may just see a pudding. Some people will see the word protein and assume they're making a good health choice. For me, it's a way of supplementing my protein up to my required amount, that 166 grams that I just calculated. At the moment, my goals are twofold. I'm trying to lose a bit of body fat. That means plunging myself into calorie deficit. If you don't know what that means, it just means eating less than I'm burning, as to lose a little bit of timber. Now that means I've got a calorie cap that I mustn't go over. So when I'm looking at products like this that boast big grams of protein, I have to be very sensitive to how many calories they are, because if I consume too many of these might push me over the calorie amount that I'm trying to stay under. So it's important just to remain conscious that the protein number isn't the only thing you should be paying attention to. Okay, right, I'm going to go get the haul that I've got from Aldi. I'm going to bring them out and then we can have a little look at some of the numbers. Right, this is my haul from Aldi. I've got lots of different products. These are all from the fridge section of the shop. The protein line of products does in fact go through some of the other departments, dried food and freezers and such. But to keep this video concise and on point and limited to the ones that don't need any preparation, so they're quite portable and you can take them places, I stayed in the fridges. Right, I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of these products. I'm going to tell you the three important numbers. We're going to talk about the amount of protein they claim to have, the amount of calories they have, and then the price. Okay, so we're going to start with Dreamy Protein Pudding. These claim to have 20 grams of protein per pot. In each pot there is 147 calories, and these only cost 89p, which is an absolute bargain. These taste really nice, taste a little bit like Milky Ways. Nothing wrong with these whatsoever. Yummy. I had one of these last night, absolutely fantastic. Right, the second one, we have got the seeded granola protein pot, strawberry flavour. These are 22 grams of protein, that's what it says right there on the lid. And it has sort of granola bits that you can sprinkle over the top. It's 197 calories, so nearly 200 calories, and these cost £1.29, so those extra seeds on top cost you an extra few pennies. What's next? Okay, protein mousse. Now this is an interesting one. It's in a slightly bigger pot, as you might expect, because it's got air in it. So these are 20 grams of protein. They're 151 calories and they cost £1.29. And they come in two flavours, white chocolate or chocolate, brown chocolate. I had one of these. They've got an ever so slightly interesting texture. It's not quite the same mousse as you get in other puddings, but not unpleasant. They're actually really quite nice. Yeah, they're really nice actually. Right, next. So these are a protein twist on your sort of rice pots. So this one claims only 14 grams of protein. So I'm not so sure this is specifically a protein pudding, but rather something they've just put the amount of protein on the top. So it's 14 grams of protein at 188 calories, and these cost 89p. Right, so one of the big hitters, this is the strawberry protein pot, yogurt I think it is. I think it's closer to fromage frais than it is actually yogurt. There's 25 grams of protein in this one and 142 calories, so quite low on calories, and only 0.7 grams of fat, so it's really low fat, this one. And these only cost 75p. So from a protein, calories and price perspective, this is definitely a contender. Right, straight up protein pudding. They're not even messing around and calling this, it's just pudding. So these are 20 grams. There's chocolate flavour, I think there's white chocolate flavour as well. So 20 grams of protein, 159 calories, 99p. These are actually quite nice as well. I do quite lean towards the chocolate ones, you'll get that. Right, so we've got two that come in sort of bottles as well. Right, so we've got these two. And they're subtly different. This one, it says it's got 20 grams of protein. It's a strawberry bottled drink, but it's quite high in sugar. It's got 175 calories and then 99p. Now this one also looks like a drink. I actually fell for this one. This one is on-the-go version of this one, right? So these are essentially the same. So once again, 25 grams of protein and 140 something calories, 148 calories, and these cost 89p. So a little bit more than the 75p for this sort of pot version, but it does mean you can just take the lid off and take it through the mouth. Now, don't assume that this is a drink, because it's not. It's very thick yogurt, so it comes out like a sausage almost, like a strawberry sausage. But yeah, if you're going to be going somewhere for the day and you don't want to take a spoon with you, then this is probably the next logical choice. Now, this one is a funny one, because this one was nestled amongst all of these yogurts and drinks, and is quite clearly different. It's in a packet. It's a cook-to-eat protein brownie, right? So, okay, so I've tried one of these already. First of all, it's not necessarily portable like the rest are, because you need to cook it in a microwave. The look of the thing makes it look like a square of leather. Now, when you do microwave it, it does expand a little bit, but not a lot. It looks quite undesirable to eat. Now, the kicker with these is it says 19 grams of protein, which isn't as much as a lot of this stuff here. But the kicker is the amount of calories that's in it, which is a lot more than this stuff. And that's 310 calories. Now, for me, I can't separate that number with a 20-minute 5K, because that's roughly what comes up on my watch when I finish a park run in 20 minutes. So when I look at that, I can't help but think that that's too calorie dense to really be considered in the same way as this lot of stuff. These are only 99p, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend these. I think my favorite in terms of taste currently is the Dreamy. They're really quite nice. In terms of protein over price and calories, it has to be these. These are 25 grams of protein per pot. Now, I've got one last one, and this is kind of this one sits in the sort of novelty pudding land, but it stands off the page a little bit because it says it's got 30 grams of protein. 30 is, you know, quite a lot. But they are 250 calories and they cost 139. So I wouldn't necessarily lean toward this. I'd probably stick to the 25 grams and just know that I'd got less calories and less fat than this one. I think these ones pip it. It's not always about the highest grams of protein on the top. I think quality over quantity in this particular case. So how much or how many of all of this stuff would I be looking to consume to top up my protein on any given day? Now, in the middle here, I have measured out what 160 grams of protein would look like in just these products. Now, I wouldn't just eat these products, that would be ludicrous, but as a visual representation, I'm going to work backwards. So when I get up, the first thing that I eat is eggs, 3 large eggs with some toast, which is about 20 grams of protein. It's probably a little bit more than that, but we can take that and put that away. Don't need to eat that now. I also have like a protein bar or something between that and my next meal, which again claims to be about 20 grams. I then have a very protein dense main dinner, which I think we can take 2 of those away. And then I will still have a self-made whey protein, either a drink or mixed with yogurt, which will come in at around 40, which leaves me with just 1. Now, on some days, if I'm out, I might not be able to have all of those things, but that's how my routine is sort of panning out at the moment. So as of right now, I need 1 of these a day, just 30 additional grams of protein. And that gets me to my 166 grams of protein on any given day. So that's a good way of working it out. Figure out the rest of your day and see what you're left with. So that is the end of these products. It's safe to say that all of these taste really, really good, and each and every one of them is really quite satiating. It's filling. Protein is generally filling anyway, but when you get quite stodgy yogurts or mousses, they generally have this very filling sensation. So it does assist while keeping those calories under control. Now, while these are all very nice, well and good, it's important to probably say that you shouldn't rely on these too heavily. On the hierarchy of how you get your protein, food will always be king, and it's always important because that's where a lot of your nutrients come from. So wherever possible, get your protein from food. If you're on a calorie restrictive diet, after food, lean towards things like whey protein initially. And then finally, if you're just a little bit short on your protein requirement, then look to these as a way of just getting you over the line. Never, ever, ever rely on these as a way of actually supplementing real food. Never do that. So yes, that is the end of the video. Like I said, these are all from Aldi. Once these are all gone, I'm going to be going to another supermarket. I'm going to see which one offers the next best range of protein foods, and I'm going to raid their fridges next, and I will bring you another review soon to see how they compare against these. I don't know if you pop down in the comments which supermarket has the next best protein range. Sainsbury's, Asda, Tesco, let me know, because I don't actually know which one I'm going to next. Right, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Go out and get some of these because they're yummy, and I'll see you in my next video soon. Mart out.